try to blow my mind. I don't care.
All right, peace, Black family. Thank you for joining me yet again on another episode of After the Revolution, where we focus on all things revolving around Haiti, from culture to food to historical events and historical people. Today, I stand in Alexandria, Virginia, in front of a plaque that reads Le Ouverture Hospital. It says, name for Toussaint L'Ouverture, the Haitian revolutionary. L'Ouverture Hospital opened in early 1964 near the Freedmen's Barracks in Alexandria to serve the sick and injured United States colored troops. This is very important to Pan-Africanism. One of the things that I caught so much flack for is the intermingling of African American, ADOS, Foundational Black American, and Haitian history. People have accused me of reaching. People have accused me of trying to take over African American history. But one of the things we have to understand as Africans in general is that there's never been an African American history. There's never been a Haitian history. There's never been a Caribbean history or a Southern American history. There's always been this Black Atlantic experience from New Orleans to the Caribbean. I'll even venture up to say the whole United States. See, we like to think of our history in national terms. That is something that's new to Africans, because the Africans here in Virginia, the Africans that fought in the Civil War, actually named one of their troops, one of their battalions, after Toussaint L'Ouverture. They actually called it the Toussaint troops. This shows you the experience. This shows you how we were connected, that Africans in America knew about what took place in Haiti and were inspired by what took place in Haiti. This is not me reaching. You got the plaques. It's not my fault if we are not studying our history properly. It is not my fault at all. I'm here to connect the history, to connect us as Africans, to say we've always been connected. Whether it be African Americans escaping to Haiti during slavery and after slavery, or whether it be Haitians coming here to the United States, we've always been connected. There's always been this Black Atlantic experience. Do your history. Read Frederick Douglass' work. Read David Walker's work. Read these people's works, and you will hear them talking about Haiti. I've always said one of the first ways that I came into studying Haitian history is because I first started studying African American history. I started studying Frederick Douglass. I started studying David Walker, Nat Turner, Denmark VC, all these situations. And I always seeing one common narrative, Haiti. But I'm reaching. And I stand here now in Virginia, Alexandria. You can read it for yourself. It's here. There was also a hospital. The first community, the Black first community in Virginia, was actually called Hayti. Look it up. The community no longer exists, but it was called Hayti, spelled Hayti, after Haiti. Now, I've been asking people around here, do they know where I can find the community at? And everyone seems to be drawing a blank. But we know it existed. We have the plaques. We know it's somewhere around here. I'll just have to find it. But we are connected as Africans. We've always been connected as Africans. Always. The hospital here doesn't no longer exist. And I think that this should be something known in Haitian history as well. Haitians should know how connected we are. Not just African Americans, but Haitians as well should know how connected we are. Because we are one African people. And it's not just Alexandria, Haiti, or Toussaint's hospital. You can go to Fayetteville, North Carolina. And you can go to the chapel, and you will see on top of the church, they have a voodoo symbol. I've been there too, did a video on that as well. The neighborhood, the community was called Hayti. We don't want to be connected because being connected means we have to stand together. Our ancestors didn't think that way. See, when we didn't find a hero within our ethnic group, within our Haitian group, within our African-American group, within our Jamaican group, we found another in another African group. When Garvey stepped out and he learned about the Haitian Revolution, that inspired him. This is very important to understand. This hospital served as one of the first hospitals in this state for Africans out of slavery. This was orchestrated and organized by Africans in this area. It was influenced by the independency of hearing about a Haiti, hearing about a country where African people ruled and governed themselves. This community thrived off of that idea. This is what we call African influence. When Africans can influence other Africans, you don't have to know them, you don't have to meet them. You hear of their example, and then you cater your mentality, your ideology after theirs. This is African influence. This is what this is. This is what this hospital and what this community once represented. African influence. Mind you, Haiti was the only place in the world where Africans were free. Close your eyes and imagine how big this world is. And anywhere in the world you go, the people are either in bondage or under some form of colonization. But there's this one place in the world called Haiti, or pronounced Hayti, where the Africans rule themselves, where the Africans have domain over themselves, where they have discourse over themselves. They make their own laws. They have an empire over there. They have a republic over there. Imagine how influential that is to Africans hearing that story. And this is what Toussaint led over to a hospital and the Hayti community or Haiti community represented. This is not me reaching. This is not me pulling things out of my behind because I want to infiltrate my history or intertwine my history or Haitian history into African American history. It's already connected. We already have hundreds of years connected together. This is what we have to understand. Our ancestors would not be appreciative of how or what state we are in today as a community, as a race of people. I stand here in front of Toussaint L'Ouverture plaque, right? When you go to Haiti and you go to Port-au-Prince, they have Martin Luther King Highway. Our ancestors did not set those things up for us to be so divided. We did not orchestrate these communities and these ideas for us to be divided today. And this is why I'm here in Alexandria, Virginia, to talk about this history, to build on this history, and inform people of this history because we are connected. Some people may believe that you are African American, that you are ADOS, that you're a foundation of Black American, but I guarantee you, if you go back into your lineage, you would see that your peoples came out of the West Indies. And no, you are not Native American, because when they used the term West Indies, they would just call them Indians at the time. Oh, now we getting deep. He's from the Indies. He's from the Indies. And so the misnomer became, oh, he's Indian. That's the misnomer. He's Indian. But that's not the case. Because we know, historically speaking, Africans in America, only 3% or 6% of them came to the United States during the slave trade. During the Haitian Revolution, or anytime after the Haitian Revolution, if you look at the census in the United States, the numbers will triple. The numbers will triple. This is no coincidence. This is because a lot of Africans would migrate from Haiti here to the United States. This is a fact. This is a fact. Look at the numbers. No, you are not Native American. No, you're not indigenous. When your people said you are Indie, they meant West Indies. It is a misnomer. We're talking facts here. Look at every time a Haitian Revolution or a situation will pop off, you will see the numbers in the United States triple for Black people. It will triple. You can go to New Orleans and you can see Haitian presidents buried in New Orleans Cemetery. They had to migrate. This is a fact. We know that more Africans were brought to Haiti than the United States. Yes, we know this. We know that more Africans were imported to the Caribbean. And this is why every time a rebellion would happen or a situation would happen in the Caribbean, they will migrate to the United States. Some willingly, some forcefully. This is history. This is not me making stuff up. This is not me crowbarring Caribbean and Haitian history into African American history. This is history. It is here. Go see it for yourself. I've traveled this whole country, well, parts of this country, excuse me, doing the research on this. Doing the research on this. This is not me internet babbling. This is not me, talking out of the side of my neck for fun. This is research and then applying that research to traveling and going and seeing these things for myself. We are one people. We are connected. You may think that you're ADOS, you may think that you're foundational Black American, but I encourage you to look harder and look deeper. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, family. Until next time, think black, stay black, love black, support black, and that's your African Black power. Now let me get up out of this now gentrified white neighborhood before they call the cops on me.